Well, that's kind of a kick in the pants because I definitely pulled on that one and it came apart. Definitely green on the one end. There's no doubt about it, but that's not the main problem. What is going on, everybody? We got ourselves a 2012 F250 or F350. This has got the good old 6.7 in it. Check this out over here. We've got a lot of stuff in the back here. Lots of junk in the trunk, if you will. This is a harness that's been replaced because something burned up on it. Got a little bit of work cut out for ourselves here as we go. I just want to take a quick visual. This doesn't start or run, but this harness has been put in. It hasn't ran. It didn't run before the harness was put in either. So just taking a look around. It's got some stuff done to it. It is an F250. Just so you know, when you turn the key off and take the key out, nothing happens. Put the key in. The dash does light up a little bit, and keep an eye on what happens here. That's key on, engine off. We do have a check engine light. I see an ABS light, traction control battery. We do not have a prindle lighting up. You see that? No prindle, so that's something to keep in mind. And if I go to crank, we have a no crank. Okay, I was about to hook up my scan tool and get IDS up and running, but I thought first let's go ahead and take a look at the CAN bus. We're gonna plug in our DLC breakout box and take a look at our CAN bus. So I got my ohm meter set to ohms, and I'm going to go between 3 and 11. I'm expecting 60 ohms between 3 and 11. That is the medium speed bus. And I do have 60 ohms there, so that's cool. Between 6 and 14, we should have ourselves 60 ohms as well. So between 6 and 14. And, oh, here we go. We got 120 ohms, so that is the open circuit. Of course, my phone's ringing. So we do have that 120 ohms there. That is an open in the CAN bus. And if you haven't seen other videos I do, the most common spot is usually going to be right in here. I think the splice actually is right about here, but we'll see if that's a problem. We'll go ahead and pull this up. Oh, that popped up very easily. And boy, it already looks pretty bad in here, but let's go ahead and pull this stuff up, see what we get. All right, so we're taking a look down here. This is kind of nasty. I think it's usually the white and blue is usually what I'm going after. These guys right here. Go ahead and give these a gentle tug, each of them. See what's up. I might have to cut this open just a little bit, but let's see what's going on. Here's the one white and blue splice. And I think I see some corrosion on the very edge of this. Give it a little bit of a tug, see what's up. It's pretty tight, actually. Let's see where our other one is. So I went ahead and opened this up so I could get in here to the harness. This is the one that looked a little green. I gave it a good old-fashioned tug. And you may or may not be able to see the green right in the end of that splice right there. Let me see if I can get this to focus on that. You may or may not be able to see the green right in the end of that splice. So right now on our meter, we are reading 115 ohms. So I'm going to go ahead and basically splice these two together. We're going to get this white and blue to this white and blue right here, and then take a look at what happens. All right, I'm going to just strip this back just a little bit, make myself a place to go with my jumper leads. All right, you guys keep an eye on that multimeter. I'm going to go ahead and hook this up. Oh. Didn't quite get us there. It changed. Went from 115 to 120. So I might have another problem further down the line. Doesn't surprise me, because that one pulled apart. There's another splice down further over here. Let me see here. Yeah, so that bounces around between 120 and 115. Interesting stuff. I have to get the splice out of here for now, and we'll make a new one. These are our white and our white blue, what we're looking at here. So putting those two together brings it to 120. Let's jumper this one to this one over here. And that stays 120. So we still got an open circuit. Definitely found what was definitely, I consider to be a bad splice, but it may not have been everything. That's a fact. So we got our two there. Okay, so that didn't fix it. Haha, I brought my seam ripper today. Forgot about it. was in my pocket. For some reason, I've been leaving that thing at home lately. This makes quick work. If you don't have one of these, be sure to get one. You do have to be careful you don't nick something, but more than likely, it usually works out pretty good. Ooh, this harness even smells bad. Like you can smell the rotting, I don't know, mildew and stuff smell. It's terrible. Well, that's kind of a kick in the pants because I definitely pulled on that one and it came apart. Definitely green on the one end. There's no doubt about it, but that's not the main problem. So at this point, I am going to go ahead and plug in the scan tool and see what communicates, what modules don't. We might be fighting a twofold issue here because they did put a harness in this. All right, as we're starting a session of Ford IDS, I am going to take a peruse around this vehicle, take a look and see if I see anything. If the PCM's not talking, it's probably going to take like 45 seconds to gain communication or let us enter the tear tag information. So while that's doing that, all right, so I'm looking over here at the PCM. That is the engine controller on this, and you got some grounds that are all clean back there. Somebody had been cleaning them, you can see. It looks pretty good. Just poking around here. Let's go back to our IDS. So we do have our key in the on position. Of course, that's not going to work. I'm going to hit no. I don't want to retry. And right now, go through this stuff. I'm waiting to the screen where I can type in the as-built data. I'm going to head over to motorcraftservice.com and we're going to look up that. Go to free resources, quick guides, and we're going to scroll down to module as-built data. Copy out this tear tag information. We're going to paste that right here. And once this loads up, we're going to do a network test. The yes button right here. Now, one thing I'll tell you is when I see dashes usually like this on the cluster on many Fords, like this one where the odometer says dash 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 miles, I'm thinking we have a situation where our ABS control module is not even communicating as well as other things. So not only the PCM, but probably ABS too. But let's go ahead in here and we're going to go ahead and do a self-test with the red toolbox. I'm going to do a network test. So it did pull the mileage. That's interesting, but the mileage on the odometer's dash is interesting. Let's do a live network test. Hit the check mark. On this next screen, we're going to get to choose which modules we want to have on here. So it says PCM's disabled. I do want to try and talk to the PCM. I don't think we have that. The Knox gateway, maybe we do. I don't know if this has a separate TCM or not. So let's hit the play button. So TCM, PCM, ABS is present. I was expecting that not to be there. So basically, I want to find out if this has a separate transmission control module. It very well might. And I need to find out where the terminating resistors are in this thing. So we're going to hit the stop button because that's going to get annoying. So I'm going to go ahead back to our Ford page. Oops. I'll copy this VIN. And we're going to paste this right into all data. I'm going to go to diagrams. And also, before I go too far, I'm going to duplicate this tab real quick. But first, we're going to go to electrical E and take a look at our information bus. Communication networks. And I want to find out, we have the data link connector, we have the cluster, and this goes a couple different ways. We've got the communication networks right here, 14-4, and we got 14-2. So there we go. So this is more of the high-speed network, 14.3. We got the steering column control module, restraint module, which is underneath the seat here. We've got these splices right here. There's a connector C12, C212, and we have the diesel. So we got a glow plug control module. This is a separate CAN bus and a knock sensor module, but also a transmission control module. So what I need to do is in the description and operation, I need to find out where the terminating resistors are on this. Information bus, system and components. I want a description and operation maybe. Do they tell me where? It looks like our BCM is a terminating resistor and our PCM is a terminating resistor. One thing to tell you, this is a block diagram network. It is not actually this way. You have to look at the real diagrams. Because if you look at this, you'll think, oh, the PCM's here and then this is the BCM's over there. And you'd think it was going directly in this order. But you found on the other diagram, let me go back here. Let's just go back a few. You can clearly see that we have the DLC and then the instrument panel is like the first stop, right? I was expecting to have our instrument panel be a terminating resistor on this, but the body control module is the other one. So if I'm reading 120 ohms, we have to figure out which 120 ohms are we reading. You know, are we getting to this spine network and going to the body control module and seeing 120 ohms, or are we going to the PCM? And one of the easiest things I might be able to do is to, I'll go back over here real quick. I'm going to turn the key off. And I'm going to go ahead and, you know, I got my jumpers on here. This isn't pretty, but it's okay. It'll work. I want to see what our resistance is. I'm waiting for the bus to go to sleep. Actually, I probably got to disconnect my scan tool. Waiting for the network to go to sleep here. There we go. And you see we have 120 ohms. I'm going to go over here and disconnect the engine control module. I think this is 175B right here, but we'll just disconnect them all. On the gas, I know this corner one is the one we go after, but I'm not sure about the diesel, but we'll just disconnect them all. Make sure we're in good shape. Connector don't want to come undone. Ooh, yeah, it's tough. Yeah. All right. PCM's all disconnected. And we are still reading 120 ohms. So that means that we're not seeing the resistance of the powertrain control module. So we gotta go back and look at our diagrams here. I'm gonna head back all the way to the end. So you got our powertrain control module at the end here. So we got this big connector C1010 right there. What else do we have? We don't have this. Do we have ABS? Let me make sure that ABS module was online. I think it was. I'm gonna plug in the scan tool one more time here. Go ahead and get my ohm meter off there real quick. Turn the key back to the run position. And I'm going to hit the play button on our network monitor. So our ABS is talking, so we are good up until this point right over here, right? We've got it coming in to this point. So now we're worried about the C1010. And this is also C1010. So I think I'm very interested to see C1010. Here's a diagram. That's kind of gives us a little bit of help there. So you're going to see we're going to have our can in and out. They got the circuit numbers here. They're not really telling us, but it's white and blue, and you're going to have another white and blue next to each other. White and blue, white, white and blue. So that's nice. I need a location of this thing. So I'm going to go to connector location. Let's see if we can do a control F. C1010. I don't see it in here. Let's scroll down. It might be because this is a bit of a different diagram. Sometimes these are like not searchable, unfortunately. So these are 197s, 200s. Maybe it's going to be down in the 1000 series. 800. C100, C1010, left rear of engine compartment near wheel well. Oh, that's a great place, isn't it? Let's take a look. Ooh, that's gonna be a bear. Let me go ahead and get my flashlight and we'll see what we can see. I don't think I can get there from here. All right, let's see if we can even see anything. There ain't nothing happening from the top there, that's a fact. So I think it's got to come from the bottom, but I'm very curious to see where this C1010 is and take a look. And if we were to try to unplug this thing, we could probably find a way to get in there and basically jumper this network here. Let's go ahead and do a self-test. I did not do a complete vehicle DTC scan. Guys, I should have done that from the get-go, huh? Let's do it. I'm curious if that APIM that was showing in the network diagram, let me show you that. Yeah, I'm curious if this shows up, but it'll probably pop up on the medium speed bus, I would assume. Just so you know, I'm pretty confident that this splice was going bad. If it wasn't bad, I don't think I had any damage by yank on it, because it came right out of that hole right there. You might have trouble seeing that, but it definitely, the wire was going bad in there. These splices go bad often. I thought I'd have a home run right here, but I guess we're still at the drawing board. Meanwhile, my Ford IDS has a blue screen of death, so looks like I got to restart this, unfortunately. X out and try again. All right, so I think we got this C1010 here. It's in the wheel well. It appears that it's not latched all the way. I could see it before, kind of cockeyed. If you look at that, it doesn't look right. So the one tab's busted here. It is on this side. So we're going to pull this apart and see what happens. Took some channel locks and kind of gave it the extra squeeze there.
I did plug the PCM back in.
Pop our ohmmeter back into 6 and 14 real quick. And we've got 60 ohms, so that's cool. Let's go ahead and see if we get a cranker here. Gotta see what happens, buddy. Hasn't done that for a minute, has it? We'll let this crank up and see if it'll get going. And we're gonna plug our IDS back in there. This thing hasn't ran. How long has it been since this ran? You don't know?
Probably about a year.
About a year, okay. So this hasn't ran in a minute. Let's get our IDS back up. All right, so now you can see we've got our live network test going on, and it is passing. That's cool. Just that C101 was loose, not clamped all the way to one ear of it was busted off, so we're going to zip tie that together. Let's see if we can take a look at our fuel system pressures here. So I'm taking a look. We have fuel rail pressure A. We want to take a look at the command fuel rail pressure control valve percentage. That's how much that valve turns on and off. Let's take a look here. I don't work on diesels a lot, but okay, so low pressure fuel switch says low, so I'm going to go ahead and cycle the key a few times. I believe this has to say high. Tim, is it okay for me to crank it?
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and crank this again. It says not low up here, so that's cool. And our fuel pressure A is at 1.58 megapascals. And guys, my English to metric conversion is not good. So that's 217 pounds of pressure, so we don't have any pressure vacuum. I'm gonna go ahead and crank on this again, because we do see that our low pressure fuel switch goes off. And I'm gonna crank it again, Tim.
Yes.
There we go. Just took a while to prime that pump up. All right. So with that, this does run.
This was a fun one. I gotta tell you, it was a step above the normal splice that goes bad in the sill plate on the left side there, which was cool. It gave me an opportunity to show you guys how understanding the termination resistance of the CAN bus can lead you to the problem. And that's how I differentiated which way I was gonna go. Am I gonna go towards the body control module, or am I gonna go over towards the powertrain control module side of the system? And that led me to the connector. So that was pretty cool. You know, if you like this content, please do like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. It does take time to put these videos together. My goal is to try to help technicians get better at what we do as far as diagnosis. If you want to learn even more, be sure to check out the membership site, handsonautotraining.com. I do have a lot of electrical courses, diagnostic stuff, and programming things up there, so be sure to check that out. You guys have a great day. We'll see you. Bye-bye.